Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest problems with Minecraft 1.21. Now, it may not be a problem that is big, and I don't really class it as a big problem. I have had so many people comment asking me to fix it within the mod I'm making, and that is the fact that ladders are not complete within the structure. The main one that people have noticed is the one in the lobby room, where you can see that ladder don't go down to the floor, but that one does. Well, in a recent video Minecraft uploaded on YouTube, Minecraft have explained why this is, and it's not a bug. Now, they don't talk about this one here, so this one could be a bug, but they talk about other ladders within the structure and why they are not completed. And this video does also answer why barrels have loot inside of them, like half-used stone tools and also gold tools. So let's first of all cover why the barrels have half-used tools in them, and then we'll cover the issue with the ladders. So the reason they have tools in them is to encourage the player to break the structure. So you have to come here, you get given a tool, which you can then use to break some of the blocks. Now, I didn't know you couldn't pick up copper with gold, but you can still break the tuff. And that is the reason why the tools are there, to basically tell you that you can break the structure. And they're not that good tools, it's not like diamond or anything, it's most commonly stone and gold. And they are mostly damaged as well, so they don't have that many uses left. As you can see, we have a stone one here with 67 durability, and we also got a gold one from over there. So the tools are there basically to say to the player, you can break the structure. Now, the ladders being incomplete does also link up with this in some way. So why are the ladders incomplete? And well, that is to tell the player they can build as well. Now, if I find some other ladders, because there is some ladders that only have the top ones, I think it's in the very weird maze looking room. So this ladder, for example, you can see has the bottom 3 or bottom 4, but the top 2 are missing, meaning that if you go up this ladder inside a survival mode, you are going to be stuck here, not being able to move. And this is basically telling the player you can build to get up here because you've got the pickaxe to break blocks, or you can break blocks to get up here. And that is why some of the ladders are not fully complete. To basically say to the player, you can break the structure, you can build in the structure. The structure can be completed with you breaking blocks and placing blocks. I guess I've never really thought about it that way, but that is a really cool way of doing it. Now, for example, some of the ladders can still be climbed. This one right here, for example, you can still jump up this because you don't need a ladder on the bottom block to be able to climb it. If it was like that, then it would be a bit harder, but once again, you could still climb it from an angle. I guess you could just place a block at the bottom to then make it so the ladder connects, but then once again, it is different from that side. Now, you can also get barrels with bamboo in it. It would have been really cool if maybe some of the ladders were missing, so then it told the player they had to complete ladders or break them and replace them. Now, there was a few other things mentioned inside this video. There was also a new concept art, which I'll post at the end of the video. Let's first of all talk about why the structure is quite tall. And that was because Minecraft wanted to make a 3D space. They didn't want it to be like the classic dungeon, where it's just some cobblestone, this thing right here. They didn't want it to be like this, where you only have to look in one place for the spawner. If you go into a trial chamber, you have to look in multiple areas. For example, if we find the other corridor, which hopefully has the double spawner. So let's say we was on this floor, because it does work. You have to look above, because you can see there are spawners above that are spawning mobs. You have to look below, because there are spawners below. And you also have to look on your level. So it makes the player have to focus on more than one thing. You have to focus on mobs dropping down, mobs shooting from below, and also mobs shooting directly at you. It does also work in places like this, where sometimes you can find spawners along this bottom. We didn't get any in this structure, but then you'll also have to make sure you watch above you. And a lot of rooms you will notice are built 3D. With spawners built in every area where they're above, below, and even to the sides. This room as well, you can see the spawners have a load of different levels to them. You have spawners on this top level, and then you also have a spawner down below with the breeze. So that is why most rooms are built with multiple levels to them and spawners on the different levels. It's because they wanted to encourage the player to keep focus on more than one layer. And this feature of the 3D aspect where you have to look above is the reason why they added the mace, because the mace is all about dropping and falling on mobs, and it fits in with the theme of the structure where you have to make sure you look around, and also with a breeze that shoots you up in the air and makes you take fall damage. So now let's talk about the concept art, because the concept art we have seen before. This is the one that we have seen before, and we did also see another one. This hasn't got anything new in it as far as we can see, but it's the next one which does have some new things. This one, we've seen this one before as well, but this one seems to be more done up because it has, first of all, a new block. Now, we don't exactly know what this block would have done, but by the looks of it, it looks to be some kind of detector, because it seems to be powered and there don't seem to be anything powering it apart from a player, unless it's something to do with this redstone line that is powering it. It could also be the fact of this redstone line is giving power from the block, so the block is activated from something and then it's given power. Now, I'm not sure what this is. This looks to be some glass with some kind of slab or trapdoor, with then a slime or leaf block with a fence post and then maybe a decorated pot, as it does look like what they've done over here with a pot just with no design. It's a bit weird how the redstone is going around it. There does also seem to be some moss or leaves, but I'm not exactly sure what these are. There's then also this, which doesn't really explain much. It's just a load of little images with little designs, where mainly Steve and Alex are fighting off different maybe like areas or rooms. One thing I did notice though is this one up here. This one up here is the one that's taking attention, and it looks to be Steve jumping along Drip Leaf, although they look to be different from Drip Leaf because they don't seem to have like the Drip Leaf look. So it could have been maybe they were planning a new version of Drip Leaf right here. But obviously this is all concept art and we have got the full version now, so all this concept art is probably scrapped or old or very early on. I've been looking at these and I can't really see anything else. We have also got this one, which this I think is what we got. One thing to note though, it looks like there could have been some kind of system because these copper blocks seem to have like symbols on them. You've got what looks to be maybe enchantment font. So maybe the trial chamber was meant to be linked somehow to the enchantment font, and there was going to be a copper block where you could get different like letters, but that seems to be scrapped. And then these are just ghost versions of the mobs, where you got skeleton, you got husk, you got zombie, you got spider, and it looks like creepers were maybe going to be in the structure as well. But I think once again this was them planning out how they would work and how the spawners would work. But that is the concept art, that is the new concept art they have shared. I'm really curious of what this block would have done, as it looks to be some kind of detector of some kind, because there's a player right here, and it seems to be activated going off the particles. Unless this was meant to be the spawner, unless this was the first concept of the spawner, and this was how spawners were going to look, or trial spawners were going to look. But anyway, that is it for this video. As it's a very short one, I just mainly wanted to focus on the point of ladders and why they are built the way they are, as I was getting a lot of comments asking if I could fix it within the Tricky Trials Plus mod. I was expecting it to be intentional because it was like that from the very first time they added this sort of area, and it's there basically just to encourage the player to build and break blocks. I will also have the video covering everything I talked about in this video in the description, so you can check that out in full and get a little bit more info if you want to. But anyway, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.